Never thought I'd be as giddy. It's been so long.
It has been.
It's been over a month since
Way
we've
too
done
long.
this. And I basically played Paul. Oh, and Sean.
Yeah.
I was here ready to go.
It was a combination failure here.
Yeah, I think Sean was out for a couple weeks. Paul was out for a couple weeks. And here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are. It's August 15th. It's a podcast. It's a wonderful, fucking, smoking hot day in the middle of summer. In,
It is a cold front going
Frisco,
through right now, though.
Texas.
I know.
There was a high 95, 98 today.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's been like 105, 106. It's supposed to be 107 on Thursday.
Yeah.
Dudes Like Us podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
And our producer, Mr. Austin, is not here today.
He's in Alabama.
It's Alabama, the
That's
Gulf
right.
Shores, enjoying the Orange Beach.
Is he clamming?
Clamming.
I don't know. I hope so.
Wow. I don't want to know what that means. If it's
Do they have
anything other than
clams in the
clamming.
Gulf Shores? Or are they oysters down there?
I don't really know. I would assume they're oysters. I would assume they have both. I don't really know. I think what's interesting about the Gulf Shores versus like Dauphin Island. So you got the East Coast side of the Mobile Bay, right there, the Alabama Bay, where that USS Alabama's there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting thing is that when the rivers head south, as soon as it reaches the mouth or the birth of the ocean, it heads west. And what ends up happening is the ocean along the beach and is all cloudy heading west.
So all the sediment and the debris and shit.
Yeah, so the Dauphin Island is on the west side, and then Orange Beach and the Gulf Shores is on the east side. Did I say that right? They're on the east. West side is dirty. East side is not. So
Right.
the east side is like beautiful
Right.
as far
So
as the water goes.
The prime
pristine,
real estate is
it's
all on
blue
that side.
water.
Yeah.
The right side is still beautiful. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. But the color of the ocean is a little bit dirty.
It's kind of like Galveston, right? It's all
yeah.
Well, I think
cloudy and
Galveston's
nasty
kind of
looking.
gnarly at
Yeah.
times.
It kind of is.
Corpus Christi. I know sometimes you get down there and you get some of the oils from the oil fields and shit. And
Yeah.
Yeah, from BP.
Do you remember when the oil balls were there were big oil balls that were coming up on the beach? Was that because of the BP spill?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, where the hell else is that supposed to go? I mean, those oil flumes that were just existing, just kind of
Well, that
like a
whole
flock of
thing,
birds in the water.
it was a disaster, but I think nature resolved itself much better than what the
They had
professionals
no
thought.
idea that a massive plume, like you said, of
flume.
no, it's a plume of microbiotic
Like bacteria
that eat oil.
Yes,
that eat oil, just like when there's a plankton swell,
correct.
right? And all the whales, attack it. It's crazy,
Yeah,
and it totally took nature took care of it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
So a flume, and then you have, would you say a plume?
Plume.
Plume.
Oh, are we fact checking?
Well, I do this all the time. You guys just never see it. Plume.
A plume of death. A plume of oil. A plume of. See?
In the case of an oil well
Oh.
blowout, the collective buoyancy of the oils and gases can form a plume.
Are there any questions, boys and girls?
Yeah, well, then fat thumb. And then what is the difference here between a flume?
I don't know. Because I did see something sort of relevant.
Is it flume like the log flume? Is it a path for the oil
Look up flume definition, because I don't think we can figure it out any other way here. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, here we are, opening with English grammar lessons.
Yeah.
A deep, narrow channel. Yeah, that's a flume, like a log flume, like you
All
get at Kings Island or Six Flags.
It's also a water shoot ride
Flume.
at an amusement park.
Correct.
Flume. Flume.
Oh, God.
Yes.
You don't have to do that.
Flume.
Oh, God. He has a new toy.
Oh, boy.
All right, well,
Austin's
it has
not
been a
here.
while, and a lot of things. I mean, we have a whole list of things, right? Of things that have happened. Is it really last a month?
Yeah, it's been 4
July
weeks at least. I
11th,
mean,
and what is today?
That is
The 15th.
unbelievable. I bet you that's the longest we've ever gone.
yeah, it really has.
Well, it allowed me to catch up with editing, so we are.
Yeah,
That's
huge.
how I did it. I was like, I see it, I'm going to do it.
That is incredible. Let's not like understate this. So for our listeners, when you were like going into a time capsule every time you listen to a podcast and finding out what happened, like
6 months
years and years ago, and you're like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I was so young back then. Now,
Thanks to Jeff,
100% Jeff, you're going to be like hearing current, up-to-date information.
Almost
and
live.
Well,
almost
99.9%.
live.
Almost live.
It's huge. It's huge.
Well,
And we're super appreciative. That was a lot of work.
Well, that's the next step is going live and getting some method of doing live video. We're trying to figure that out. So if our listeners want to send us an IM
we can
or
do
something,
that on Instagram. We can do it on Twitch. Do it on Facebook. There's mechanisms.
Yeah.
We just need to hook the phones.
I'd recommend
up
doing
to
it
the-
maybe on Facebook. We tried hooking up the phones. We had a little bit of an issue though. We couldn't
Yeah.
figure out what the hell was going on.
But that's going to be exciting. When we do move to video, I think that's going to be exciting because people engage differently, right? I think it'll be
Oh, that's what they look like?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
well, they're going to be immensely disappointed. There's no question about that.
They are fat.
Yeah, yeah,
they are dudes like us.
yeah. They do really weird things, Yeah.
Do you see Jeff's hands? What they were doing?
Yep. No, there's going to be a lot of that.
Right.
A lot of that.
Right.
So, anyway, so I was out. I was out legitimately. It wasn't like I was gallivanting. I was helping move my parents from Tucson to Texas. And that is completed now. But I tell you what, that's a bitch. When you think about everything that goes into, because, they need new stuff at the new place because they're using the old stuff up until the point they fly out. You know what I mean?
Like shampoos and...
No, it's more like
conditioners?
like a lift and chairs and the potty chairs and like whatever,
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right.
because you got to duplicate everything, right? You can't put them on an airplane and then drive really quickly with all that shit, So
Right.
anyway,
Beat 'em there.
It's been crazy, but they're there, they're in, and it's a done deal, and it's gone well. So anyway, that's why I was out. So happy to be back. And what'd you do? You went out to the East Coast and did your
Clam bake.
fantastical metal detector experience.
Oh, yeah. You have to explain how successful you were.
Well, the whole idea of me going even to the East Coast, up in the very northeast, very, very northeast, was because, my mom felt more comfortable if my dad had someone with him up there because,
Oh, okay.
he's
Weren't
not
his
a
brothers gonna be
spring
up there?
chicken anymore. What?
Wasn't his brothers and sisters up there?
So my dad has he has two brothers and two sisters, two older brothers and two younger sisters, and so there was a total of 5 on the island. I forget all their ages, but
Including you?
no,
In addition to you,
I'm
so
6.
6.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So there was 6 people in the house. House was beautiful. I mean, it was well constructed. It was older. I mean, the interior was great, in great shape. Some of the appliances probably need to be swapped out. Wouldn't help them to buy a ceiling fucking fan.
Yeah, but you
or-
said the central heat and air, or at least the central air, was overwhelming and you were freezing your ass off, isn't it?
that is not what I said.
Oh.
Yeah. In fact,
really?
in retrospect, I should have looked closer. I don't know why I didn't. I think I was trying to be respectful to the.
Sure. For who rented it?
Yeah, but I should have taken a closer look at the blower, because I'm thinking if we would just moved air, it would have been fantastic.
Oh, so,
You know.
so there was no air conditioning and no air.
No.
Just
movement.
kind of stale, just sleep
Well,
outside
I mean,
and all?
there was a breeze coming from the ocean on up, but I got to tell you, man, it was beautiful out there, but it was uncomfortable because of the heat.
Right.
I mean, it really was, and we had a few incidences where my uncle went outside and walked on the deck, and the deck gave way due to dry rot, just because lack of maintenance and
Especially
just
being by the ocean,
neglect.
man. It's rough on houses.
Salt water, yeah.
Big time.
But I mean that was the outside, and the overall the experience was.
Did he hurt himself?
He did hurt him. He not like heading to the hospital hurt, but
He scraped up his legs on shit.
he did. I mean, his foot went down to it was a deck, so it was probably 18 inches off the ground ish.
Yeah,
Right.
that could be really dangerous for an elderly person.
Yeah, and he's a big dude too. And it was I wasn't there when it happened. I think we all were doing something. I don't remember what we were.
Squidding?
We did do that one night.
You were searching for a buried treasure.
I did that as well. I just
Gargoyles and swords.
I was hoping that I'd find a pirate booty out there somewhere.
Yeah,
And-
gem encrusted chalices.
Oh yes,
Chalice.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Chastity belt,
Huh.
gem encrusted.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
we're good.
yeah.
Yeah. They gem encrusted everything, didn't they?
Yes.
That back in the Middle Ages, it didn't matter what it was. They put gems in it.
I think
Yes.
I found the key to that
Interesting.
chastity belt out there. So, I mean, I found lots of items, and there were the metal detector that I took out. Thanks, Scott Cash, for letting me borrow your metal detector. Plus, I bought the Garrett Carrot, which is a handheld device. So once you take the metal detector and you go back and forth, it creates a frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what it is, it's a variable frequency from low to high. And the higher the pitch is, the happier you should get. And the lower one is kind of like, there's some iron going on, but depending on the consistency of it. So there were some times where I was really excited,
Excited, huh?
but there were a couple I couldn't find. Like,
Oh, you dug around and you didn't get anything.
well, yeah, but something was there, and it was deep.
Like-
and I was
like
digging
20
and digging and digging, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm never getting it," and then
Like 30 feet deep.
Well,
no,
how deep does that thing penetrate, though?
it goes up to like 2 or 3 feet.
Were you in sand or like mud?
It was beach, wet beach.
So
So it was sand, and there were a lot of rocks. The particular area we were on Rose Point, which is the southeast central, right across from Crow Island, and Rose Point. For people that don't know, 50 Rose Point, Chebeague Island, Chebeague, Chebeague Island. It's Chebeague Island for those folks that are listening to this. It's phonetically it looks like Chebeague, but it's actually pronounced Chebeague, and they always correct you. And you always are an outsider if you pronounce it. They could tell that.
But wasn't it like Shemen Island?
Well, due to the respect of the folk that will be listening to this podcast, I'm not going to refer to a whole lot of that. But I will tell you, per capita, there were a lot more lesbians on that island than heterosexuals. That's for sure. It was.
How do you know they're lesbians?
That is interesting.
You can tell by looking at certain lesbians. They have all the criteria.
Yeah.
There's
The
a lot of them have the
haircut,
short hair.
the flannels,
But how'd you know they were
flannels.
couples?
the hiking boots.
They were holding hands and kissing.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's generally a good
Matching
good indicator,
tattoos.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And they were happy. I don't give a fuck either way. But
No, it really doesn't matter. It just,
no, but it was just it was
it's so-
odd.
it's- you sent pictures, and that's like one of the things, of course, we noticed. So
I was just kind of like, it just kind of it was off-putting. I was just like,
it's just something you would not have expected.
no,
Yes.
I wasn't. And I ended up talking to one of my friends, and she's a lesbian, and she was like, "Oh no, that's like
is-
the Northeast. That's where they go to die. That's where they go. If they want to live life, they go up in the Northeast." And I was like,
Interesting.
"Why is that?" And she was like, "It's because they like to wear the flannels, and it's the climate's more conducive for that."
Yeah,
All in
that's-
all, man,
that's funny.
it was a great trip. There was very, very little reception for phones on the island.
which can be nice.
It was.
It can be
bittersweet.
frustrating, too, though.
It was a little frustrating because sometimes it was a little boring, and you're not definitely not watching Netflix or anything like that.
Did you kick your Instagram habit, TikTok Instagram habit while you're up there?
Oh yeah. That was completely gone. I didn't do any of that. I think I didn't even. I don't think I was even able to really post a lot of pictures like I
Yeah, you
wanted to.
post. It's like late at night or once a day or something like that. Would get a text.
Well,
Yeah.
and there
Find
was
a
one
secret
time
spot.
where you sent a picture, and of course it was telling you it could not be sent. It could not be sent, and so you were like, send.
And did you end up getting it like
All
15 times?
of
We
them.
got all of them.
And it was a group text.
I didn't even know that.
It was a group text of like I think 6 people.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, "Okay, we got it the first 4 times."
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't see any of that? Oh, that's funny.
Oh yeah.
I
We
was
got
trying to explain
many
to them.
pictures over and over and over and
Yeah,
over.
I was trying to explain to them what the situation was.
Well,
Because
there
it
were-
always seems to do that. It says it does not send, but it does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then everybody gets trapped in that pattern of continuing to send, right? So dumb.
So on that island, well, first of all, the island is like 4 miles long and 2 miles wide, and there's not. It's cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. There's a lot of rock formations. Chebeague is the name Chebeague comes from the indigenous folk that lived there prior, and it's the island of many springs. Is
Huh.
because surprisingly, it kind of blows me away sometimes when you think about an island being in the middle of a freaking ocean, having a bunch of springs.
Fresh water, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? I mean, that's coming right out of the, and that's what they were saying, because it's like, the tap water where they get their water. I'm thinking, where the fuck does the water come from? And she was just like, man, they get springs. They pump it up into this big reservoir, and it gets distributed throughout the island.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of cool. The folk on the island, there is a hotel. They have a venue out there, maybe 25 rooms, or it was not very much, maybe 50. I don't know exactly. I wasn't there. They have a lot of weddings out there because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
They have a 9-hole golf course, which I didn't play.
So it's a destination.
Is it like a par 3?
I don't know. A bunch of
Is it fairly flat? Or
they have
mountainous
one
region?
of the holes where you actually have to
I mean the whole
chip
island.
over the island. You chip over the ocean.
That's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. We
You get to
actually
swim to the other hole.
I would never be able to do that. It doesn't matter how hard I tried. I would never be able to chip it onto something.
Well, they have
over
one of
water.
these over here at Preston Vineyards.
Right. Well, you have to go.
Where I think one time
almost
I did
all the
That's impossible.
golf courses
Yeah.
do. I mean, there's always
Yeah.
that one where they stick something out there. There's like a little line that runs left to right across the fairway, and you don't even know it's there. And you whack it. Oh, I got a great hit. You see that thing go? And it lands right in the friggin' water that you can't even see.
Right.
Right.
But the island, they had the commerce on the island. They have there's a coffee shop. They've got 2 coffee shops on there. One's called the Niblick, and by the wharf.
Nipple.
Nibli. I always knew how to say it because it was kind of like Dicklick, Niblick.
Oh.
Huh.
Yeah, that's how I remember.
That's how I would want to remember it.
No,
Yes.
that's how I remembered.
Yeah, a little weird.
Niblick, yeah, it was kind of weird, but I got freakishly up early. I don't know what the deal is. I'd wake up and get up like at 5:30 in the morning.
Before noon, you
and-
mean?
5:30. That's like 4:30 our time.
Yeah, it was weird. It really was weird. So I got up and because really it was nice and cool at that time.
Right.
And I'd be dressed, and I think one of my aunts was awake. Aunt Wendy was awake, and
But you're
There's-
also excited. You're
Yeah.
you're in a different place. It's nice and cool in the morning.
it's nice and cool. I went straight
Yeah,
down. We
you're-
were like 100
you're
yards
excited.
from the beach. I mean,
Right.
we really walked out of the back, went down to the beach, walked up to the Niblick, which was about half a mile, and I was getting my steps in, and I
Nice.
was enjoying it, man. Every day I was walking, 10, 15, almost 20,000 steps a day. It was
Nice.
It was exciting for me from that perspective, but plus the bunch of rocks, cool rocks. I love rocks, and there was lots of seashells, and we went and watched people fish for squid.
You didn't squid yourself?
How do you
No.
How do you fish
Well, I
for
mean,
squid?
I didn't really care. The people that were with us were fishing for squid.
You can do it on a hook, can't you?
Well,
Is it just like a fish? I
It's
mean,
not. What is a squid? You mean?
How do you fish for
So
squid?
the squid hooks aren't hooks. They're interesting. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's kind of a. Let me see here.
Kind of a corkscrewy.
Squid hook.
But but the same
fishing.
concept. It's some sort of hook
Well,
that
no.
traps them, and you put a bait on it or something
Yeah,
crazy.
but it's not a hook. So if you look at the very end, it's like a star shaped.
Oh yeah, I see that.
So what they do is the squid come up and they bite, and their mouth won't open back up. So a fish would be able to get off of that.
Right.
Because it's
So-
kind of like a little star.
So I mean, how do you? I know that calamari is
Squid.
Octopus.
No.
Calamari is
Calamari is squid.
Is squid.
Oh, it is squid.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So is that how you eat squid?
Yeah.
You can deep fry it. You can fry it in a pan. Make soups.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what
Ceviche.
did you
You
eat
can
squid?
have a shrimp scampi. You have squid scampi.
Yeah.
You have
Oh.
barbecue skimp.
You can grill it.
What's that guy's name?
Bubba Gump.
Bubba Gump. That's right. So I mean, did you eat any squid while you were out there?
No.
No squid.
So while we went to,
did you eat anything local?
We had some lobster.
Some lobsters.
The lobster was freaking great, man. I'll tell you what. I didn't really understand. I mean, I've eaten lobster before, but it's always been a challenge to get the meat out of the tail.
Sure.
And,
You got to know how to
but-
crack it and all that kind of stuff.
man, it turns out, man, it is so easy to get that meat out of the tail.
You just got to know what you're doing.
My Aunt Carol, she was like, you take the very bottom tail fin. First of all, you pull the tail off, the whole thing. And
Sure.
then the very bottom flaps, you bend them backwards and break those things off. And you You stick your thumb up there, right up their butt.
Its booty.
Yeah, well, right where you ripped off the flaps, you stick
Right.
your thumb in there and you push all that meat out. You don't have to do anything. Oh my God, I remember being at like a Del Frisco's, and then I'm like, I'll have the lobster tail and my steak, and this big ass lobster tail shows up, and here I am trying to perform surgery on the fucking thing with the steak knife, trying to get the meat out of
Del
there.
Frisco's, you gonna pick it up with your hand, shove your thumb up its ass. At Del
well,
Frisco's.
hell
Yes.
yeah.
If you know what you're doing and people
Well,
know that.
now that I know how to do it, that's exactly what I'm doing. You know, because
I think the expectation is that you do it that way, and then if they see you not doing that, they know you're not.
No, he's not authentic.
You're not a pro. Yeah, you're not authentic.
So I tell you, for those folks out there that do not know how to prepare lobster, man, it was shockingly easy. You don't have to do anything.
Right.
You don't have to do anything. You have you basically boil water, and you know how you have the pots, and then you have like the little thing where you put the noodle, like a little sifter,
Strainer, yeah.
the strainer.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to submerge the lobsters. In fact, they would recommend that you don't.
Just steam them.
You just steam them. And then once they turn that color, you just got to check them. Once they turn that color, you immediately take them out and you let them sit for like 20 minutes.
Right.
And it starts to get all kinds of stuff going on. And because they're saltwater, they got that natural salt flavor anyways.
Sure.
So you just rip off both arms and the ass and you discard the rest, or put the body of it back into the pot. I guess it's supposed to be some sort of flavor.
Right.
Because the big pot we had was really oversized. And you're supposed to put the clams on the bottom with some corn and some sausage. And when you throw the bodies back in there, it's supposed to create some sort of flavor.
Yeah, I would
to it.
imagine. So you can't eat the arms then, the pinchers,
The claws?
the claws.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
totally
can.
can eat the claws.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
there's meat inside those claws.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
No,
There's-
those you got to break apart.
Yeah, but you know what? When we ordered ours, for some reason, they were super easy because the lobster had what is it called? when
Molted.
It molted, and it was in like its second phase of getting its shell back, so it wasn't very hard.
So it's soft.
Yeah, it was softer. I mean, it was still rigid, and it was almost back to normal, but it wasn't quite. So yeah, it was a lot easier to get off. But I've had some lobster claws before, which is like, God bless. It took
It's tough.
Yeah. What's the one you
divine
got to
influence.
whack with a mallet? Is that the crabs?
I get the stone crab.
I mean,
Claws
don't they
were the
bring you
big-
a mallet and
yeah.
you have to start knocking, so smacking the shell apart?
Yeah, the stone
I'm
crab
not really.
claws.
I'm not going to say I'm not really into that stuff. I just haven't done that
So
stuff.
let's have a lobster bake
Or crab.
or crab.
Well, how about all of them?
I mean, is there enough meat to get out of that stuff to make it worth it?
It
Especially
takes a
crab.
lot. It takes a
Especially
lot.
crab.
It takes,
Well,
it takes
I-
a lot to get
I
it
ate 3
to-
lobsters.
Now, lobster, I mean, it has
one sitting?
more meat.
Yeah.
Lobster has more meat than
Well, it
crab,
depends
doesn't it?
Depends
No?
on.
Depends what kind of crab you get.
Well, it also depends on the size. Hold on now. So the lobster has additional meat than the crab because you're using the tail of it, but the crab has more
Legs.
meat in the legs than the lobster does. So there's a different thing going on there. So
And you have crab claws, too.
yeah,
Okay.
that
and there's a
you
lot
can
of meat in there. It's tedious though. I would prefer if it were me, I would just say get lobsters.
Or just buy crab cakes.
I would just get lobsters. I mean, those crabs are good, but frankly, the lobsters are a lot harder to me. They're a lot harder to break open and manage and to get the meat out than it was for the lobsters. Lobsters was kind of like boom, boom, bang, done.
Right.
You know, and I mean, really, I finished all 3 lobsters like in 20 minutes.
Well, how much would it cost for them to ship some lobsters down here?
Well, the lobsters were about $8 a piece, and they were about a pound. They were 1.2 pounds.
That's cheap. $8 for a lobster?
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's
you're not
cheap.
going to find anything like that here. It'd be
No.
$25.
Well, I mean, yeah, they gotta freeze it. They gotta, ship it.
They're not going to
They
freeze
gotta-
it. Like I can get one of my uncles. I can get one of my relatives out there to box it. My dad did.
Oh,
He said
really?
it cost him a couple $100 to send a dozen. Yeah, it
Okay.
took him
Put them on
he-
dry ice?
And was
That's
it
exactly what they did.
is it next day air type of thing? Or?
Yeah, but kind of like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
Actually,
next day
there's a
air.
service out there because we went to Portland, Maine, and because the Portland Lane, you jump on the ferry, the Casco Bay ferry, and the Casco Bay ferry goes throughout all the islands. So it's just like it's about a 2.5 3 hour round trip.
Yeah.
You know, when you're on there, because you hit all the islands and you come right back, and that's how people get back and forth. It's kind of interesting, boat life, and plus you drive your boat right on the damn drive your car right on the boat. It's
Right.
pretty crazy.
Right.
You know, it's a process.
But them, it's a daily commute.
Yeah, I'll tell you, laugh because when we were leaving the last day, we packed all our shit up, you know, and we got these little carts because you got to call ahead. Hey, we're going to be leaving. Please put some carts out there. We need a couple big ones, you know, 2 or 3 big ones just for us. We don't know who else goes. So we get down there, we load everything on the carts, and then my Aunt
Like a
Carol,
golf cart?
carts. Like a push cart, like an oversized grocery cart.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Right.
it was long and deep bins, like a laundry chute or
Gotcha.
something like that, but it's made out of metal. And we drive the car down to the dock because these docks are really beefy. I mean,
Right.
they're super strong, and so they drive the car right on there. We get on the boat because it's a big boat too. You
Yeah,
know, there's
big
probably
ferry.
fit 150 people on that boat, and everybody's because it's just me, my dad, and my Aunt Wendy and my Aunt Carol and Uncle Gary. So we left Uncle Clyde and his daughter and their family there. So his daughter had arrived and when we were leaving, so they stayed. We got to visit for one day. I got to visit with my cousin, and then the next day we were gone. But it's funny because we're getting the boat, we're leaving, we're waving goodbye, and she's pointing at the luggage sitting on the dock that never got loaded.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's fucking funny, man, because she was like pointing down at the thing, and I think she's waving, and I thought she was just being a little bit exaggerating because she's got 4 kids out there, and they're all like, oh, goofy and having fun, and I'm waving back, kind of like Forrest Gump, you know.
Obviously, the ferry hadn't left yet.
No, the ferry fucking left our shit there. We just took off, and
What?
So how long of a ferry drive is it there and then back?
oh, dude, we had to call the next ferry to have them come by and pick it
Oh,
up.
my
It was
God.
it was a 3-hour delay, 2.5-hour delay, essentially, you know. But the thing is that
Did you miss your flight?
no. The fact that we didn't even leave, I didn't fly back until 2 days later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we took our time driving back to Connecticut because that's basically where my dad grew up and where everyone lives is in
Yeah,
Connecticut.
well, that worked out.
Aunt Carol lives.
Otherwise,
in,
you'd be scrambling to get to the airport, and then you don't have your luggage, and that would have
Right,
sucked.
right.
And,
yeah. Thank God that didn't happen. But that,
yeah. Well, it sounds like a fun trip, though.
It was exciting. There's so much more to it. I mean, it was there really was. They had a huge basement. I mean, the building the house by itself had a large footprint, and we didn't even realize there was a basement until like the second or third day we were there. You know?
Oh, wow.
I was like, "Where's this door go?" And I opened up the door. and I'm like, "What the
Where'd this
fuck,
door
man?"
go?
Yeah, it was crazy. I go down there. It's like a huge basement.
Was it finished?
Yeah, it's finished.
Yeah.
You know, a ping pong table down there, and
Oh, wow.
just extra rooms.
It's probably cooler down there.
Oh, instantly! Like if you go down there
You're like,
barefoot,
I'm sleepy down here
So hold on.
tonight.
So you found the basement in the final day, so you could have slept down there.
No, I wouldn't have slept down there. It's kind of too much creepy shit going on down there.
Oh, really?
What?
Well, you scared of the dark?
Some spiders.
No, it's
kinda
not
damp.
that. It's just kind of dingy.
Dingy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably
Cobwebs and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it probably would have been fine, but it's just that nobody goes down there. So it had that nobody goes down there look. The concrete floor was finished. It had like an epoxy coating on there, so it was maintained, but it wasn't like habitable. They didn't have like a bathroom down there of running water.
Right.
You know, it had multiple rooms down there with doors and everything, but the drywall wasn't attached to the 2x4 framing. So I know that they're planning on doing something down there. They just never finished. The owner of the house is in her 80s, and she's done.
Well,
should-
and you
should
never
offer
know.
to buy it.
Yeah.
Well, it is on the table. I mean, if we want to buy it, you know.
You're talking about the family. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of family history there. You might as well.
Well, I mean, they do own some acreage on the island already, and based on what I've heard, there's 5 generations that have been on that island.
That's super cool.
Yeah, the last name Colbeth goes back quite a ways.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The stories, the people on the island know who the Colbeths are. You know, it was just because you
So
show
you're
up.
like royalty there.
Yeah.
Well,
That
you
you
go to
walk through,
the.
it's like, oh.
There's something called I want to say Dowdy's. Dowdy's is like a glorified convenience store. They've got a little. It's like a super small supermarket in the size of a convenience store. You know, anything that you would need essentially to survive down there. Toilet paper, some meats, frozen meats, jerky, some fruits,
Spam.
distilled water.
Canned meats, right?
Canned meats.
No, they had
Gotta have those.
The frozen meat. I don't think they had a canned meat.
Oh, fuck
They
it.
may have.
I
didn't
couldn't
see
be on
any
that
down
island.
there. And they had fresh foods too, so they were like making their sandwiches. Like they had some of the best. If you ever go to Chebeague Island, go to Dowdy's and eat the egg salad sandwiches.
I'm not a big egg salad fan.
I'm not a big egg salad fan either.
I wasn't
Yeah.
either, but this egg salad was really good.
Apparently, that's the only thing they had.
I
got-
don't know.
you
They
got
had meatball
mayonnaise in it?
sandwiches. They had Italian subs.
I don't like egg whites. That's my problem.
Because it's white. You don't like anything white.
Yeah, kind of. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm like a 5-year-old.
Good Lord.
Like
I
ranch.
know.
You don't like ranch or
I
sour
don't like
cream.
ranch.
Well,
I
I
don't
will
like
tell
mount
you,
sour
one of
cream,
the
cream cheese.
the best things when I was down there was we went to the local spirits place where they had the bourbon that I selected. The New England Barrel Company.
And we happen to be drinking it.
We are tonight. We're sampling it. It's the Small Batch Select, number 2201. 3.5 years, and it's 59.89, 119.36 proof. So it's a pretty. You said it smelled very ethanol-y. I didn't get that.
I don't get that. I don't get that now at all. When you first pour it, you get some.
There
Not
was
now.
so this. I'm going to say. So we've had it out and breathing for what, 30 minutes?
It kind of smells like
probably
a Dr.
more.
Pepper now.
So
to me.
it with an extended opening. You know what I mean? Like let it sit and breathe.
Yeah.
With an extended breathing, it's not bad.
Yeah,
Actually, it has improved
It's
significantly.
been open for an hour now. Oh yeah, it's sweet. You said Dr. Pepper, man. That's interesting because it does have some sweetness like that. And the Dr.
Yeah,
Pepper
it did
taste.
not in the beginning. at
No,
all.
it doesn't. Well, it's kind of coming out now, and it's kind of like Wayne Brady. It's coming out now.
Oh,
God.
wow.
You heard he's going pansexual now?
Yes,
yeah,
he
yeah,
is.
yeah. We saw that in the news.
That is unbelievable. What is a pansexual, by the way?
They love everything.
Yeah, anything goes.
Oh, what does that
Anything.
mean, though?
Anything.
Anything.
Like animals?
Sure,
Anything.
I guess so.
Because bi is bedded women, right?
Yeah.
So pan is, from what I understand,
Trees.
everything.
Trees, goats.
I don't know.
There's somebody that married their laptop, so I guess pansexuals have sex with laptops.
I don't know. But this bourbon, it's good. It's better than it's opened up.
Yes.
Wasn't a super fan when I first tasted it, but it's not bad. Put it
Yeah,
that
it's not
way.
bad. It's not bad. At first, I mean, even in the beginning, it wasn't bad, but it
Right.
just, it wasn't that. It didn't have a lot that was jumping out, like to make it unique or make it, something to talk about, really.
Well, I
But
think
now it does.
well,
actually.
it's not a real flavorful bourbon to me anyway.
right.
Yeah, and I want to say when I drank a bottle while I was down there, and it to me this one doesn't taste the same.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
they can be different.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it's not single barrel. It's barrel proof or a small
It's
batch.
barrel select.
It's about small batch, right? So that is where they take a handful of barrels that's the same proof and they mix them.
Sure.
yeah.
I
Right?
don't know.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know
That's
either.
what they call a small batch.
Well, there you
So
go.
they take multiple barrels and they mix them together so that they can have all the same flavors.
That's right.
But whatever. I think overall I scored this about a 6.5.
I'd
I
go
agree with
6.
that.
Yeah, I'd go 6.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Not bad. I mean, it gets you a little loopy if you drink enough of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good addition, though.
I like
It's- It's something that probably no one around here has.
That's right.
Well.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to pick up bourbons. And anywhere we're going, right? Something local.
Well, I'm anxious to try the one that I brought back from Nevada. We have the regular phrase, but we have the barrel select or single barrel out there now. I want to try that
Did you
one.
say phrase?
Frey or Fry?
Fry?
F-R-E-Y. Yeah.
F-R-E-Y. Fry.
Yeah, you can't get that out here yet.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Pansexual, sexually or romantically attracted to people regardless of their sex or gender.
So what's the difference between that and bi?
There is no difference when you look at that definition.
Yeah, I'm like,
Man, I always thought it had goats and other stuff like inanimate objects.
yeah, it's just
That
like,
makes it less. What's the word I'm looking for? Less sensational.
Pansexual people might refer to themselves as gender blind. They just fall in love with. They don't.
Yeah, that's bisexual.
That's bisexual.
I
to
think
me.
it's bisexual. Like,
It's the
look
same
that
thing.
up. What's the difference between pansexual and bisexual? I mean, this is something we need to know, right? I mean, we live in a world of,
I don't know.
lots of. I mean, hell, we can't even name all the letters in the LB thing, right? I mean, is that going to be taught in schools, like where everybody has to know all the letters are?
I don't know.
I don't know either. All right, let's see here. What's the difference? Here we go. Most people agree bisexuality refers to the feeling attracted to multiple genders, while pansexuality is attracted to all genders.
Still doesn't make
That
sense.
is stupid.
That's
so
fucking
basically, if you're a gender of a cat, then they find that attractive. That's what they're saying. When they say there's 30 genders out there,
Right.
bisexuals are only attracted to 2, male and female. Pans are attracted to all the
Trans.
just all the
Now,
odd ones out there.
Whatever
Whatever they call themselves.
What are the other genders?
I don't think there's not another gender.
Well,
So-
just Google list all the genders. I guarantee Google's going to pull something back because you see on some of these like Facebook when you log into Facebook now and ask you what your gender is, it's like you have 37 selections. I think
So there are many different gender identities.
Two-spirit, genderqueer,
Non-binary, agender, pangender. God, get the fuck out of here! This is so stupid. Okay, sorry. All right, I don't want to get caught up on this because it's kind of a dumb topic anyway.
So
There you
the
go.
US
Go to Wikipedia. List of gender identities.
Oh, here we go. Oh my God!
So let's start with the A's. We have abinary, agender, ambigender, androgyne, androgynous,
Androgynous.
porogender, autogender, bakla, bigender, binary,
Bakla.
bisu,
Bakla.
butch.
You know what? I want to be bakla.
a
What is bakla?
kalabi, a kalahai, a cisgender, or a cis female, cis male, cis male.
Those are the
cis
normal
woman.
ones.
A demi-boy, demi-flux, demi-gender, demi-girl, demi-guy, demi-man, demi-woman,
Demi-guy.
and dual gender.
Demi guys like us.
Fafafine, female, a female to male, a femme, FTM, gender bender, gender diverse,
Okay.
gender gifted,
This
gender
is-
fluid,
we're only
gender
on the
flux,
Gs.
gender fuck, gender fuck,
Gender fuck? Well, hold on.
Gender
That's got potential. Click on that one. Gender fuck.
Then you got genderless.
I want to know what gender fuck is.
Gender fuck. Let's see here.
Hmm.
Plural gender fucks a vulgar slang. It's a conscious effort to subvert traditional notions of gender identity.
Basically, they're just screwing with you.
Oh. Huh. Gray gender. Are we gray gender?
Man of trans experience.
A maverick.
Maverick.
A whole MTF,
Maverick.
multigender, a mukes, a neither, a neurogender,
Oh, this is great.
non-binary, omnigender, other,
Polygender.
pangender,
Polygender.
seket.
Ooh, third gender.
I wonder if there's a bonus gender.
How exciting. You can be anything. Oh, you can
can.
be all
You
sorts
can-
of things
Oh, look
now.
at this, a tum-tum.
Tum-tum.
Travesti.
Don't be dumb, tum-tum.
What's that V? Vaca salakawala.
Oh, I can't see
Vaca
that.
salawalawa.
Vaca salawalwela.
Vaca salawalawa.
Huh. Now there's
Vakasalawala.
There's
Click on that.
Waria and Winkty.
Come on.
Fiji. People from Fiji born assigned male at birth, but they got have a feminine gender. Okay, so they're Fiji trannies. So okay, whatever. God, why are we screaming for uniqueness and attention? I just don't get it. Why can't we just be unique with the personality that we have, the way we look, the laugh that we have, the characteristics? You know what I mean? That's unique enough. We don't need to do this. I just don't think we need to do this. All right. Anyway, to
I was
something.
hoping we get a pronunciation of it, but I can't find it.
Oh, you want to push the button over and over again of how to spell
Well, just once at least.
Okay, it's vaca selawelewa.
Walewa. Vaca salawalawa.
Yeah. Well. I really don't see any of this furthering the human race. Maybe we should talk about stuff that furthers the human race.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not good. It's not
I just
going
don't
to.
see this kind of being all that beneficial.
So
Vacabula.
I don't believe that's.
Ooh, that's something
correct.
different.
Vacabula.
I
don't
don't
think
know
that's
what that
correct
word
either.
is, but that's You know.
That's Fakavula.
Okay.
All right, I'm done.
You need to put it into an AI speech synthesizer. Is what you
So
need to do.
overall, the trip was great. It was well needed. I spent look. I'll tell you, it brings a lot of thoughts about because my dad's brothers and sisters are older, and dudes like us out there, they all have older uncles and aunts, and frankly, who knows? I mean, I don't know if I'll ever see some of them again, and
Yeah.
frankly, it saddens me that there's a good chance that I won't. You know, because I had a good time with all of them. They're all very unique with their own personalities, and they're interesting because three of them are Democrats and one of them's a Republican, and they all
Any
kind
good
of.
discussions.
We did not. Well, that was one of the rules that we respected,
Good.
and it made things because we did have a few.
Did you live by that?
Did I abide by it?
Yeah.
We had a few meltdowns where.
Did you really?
Well, I shouldn't say the meltdown. We had a few. I had a few slips where we talked about something amicably.
And you're like, you're a bunch of libtards.
No, I refrained from anything like that. And
okay.
we all took the high road. I think my Aunt Wendy, she's a little rambunctious when it comes to her dislike for Trump.
Oh,
and
yeah. They can't help themselves.
she can't.
They
It's
just
like
ooze.
it comes out. In fact, she opened her mouth to say something, and she said it, but her lips didn't even move. It was like the innard of her
Yep.
brain just like
It's like breathing.
said it.
It's like breathing.
Yeah, she does not. And
That's what I'm trying to. I've been telling you guys this. They hate him. Like they loathe him.
They hate
They're
him.
willing. They're willing to have anything but him. And that's why I was kind of like, well, maybe he shouldn't run. I mean, what the fuck? We can't find somebody with the same platform that isn't loathed by half the country.
Well,
Right.
well, you know
Now
what?
he's going to be in prison, so I'm not sure it really matters.
Well, you say that. I don't think he's going to be.
I think he is. I think they're going to go at it until he is in prison, and I don't know what that means. And he has said that he's going to campaign from prison. How's that work?
Well, if they said he's going to, the sheriff down there says he will get a mugshot, and I guarantee that mugshot is going to be on T-shirts.
Everywhere. Oh, it's going to be everywhere.
He's going to sell the T-shirts with his mugshot. It will be.
Oh, Trump will?
I think so.
Oh, that's great.
He'll probably be tie everything.
Yeah, that's one way to campaign.
Just offset it. You know, Trump for president. Have his little
what do you call it?
mugshot.
Funding. You know, like
I'm telling you, it's going to, like you said, it's going to ignite. I mean, it's going to be. I think it's such a horrible thing to do because, like, at the end of the day, this is all bullshit.
It's going to get ugly.
It's absolute bullshit with everything that they're saying. And, you know, the argument is, I don't even know what the biggest thing is, like, Christie was on Fox News.
Chris Christie. Really?
Chris Christie, yeah, he's such a
He's
butt
so
monkey.
fucking irrelevant.
But
so
he
is,
was
so
just
is
like,
Pence.
you know,
Both of them.
his idea is essentially, he was saying, well, you know what? He was saying, well, we need to find 12,000 votes. So the idea is, what's the difference between we need to find 12,000 votes or we need to find 12,000 votes?
Well, so they were claiming, they've always claimed all along that he said, go find me 12,000 votes. And what he said was, we need to find 12,000 votes. That's what he said, which is different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, his lawyer sounds fairly confident that this is
All
a
bullshit.
big nothing burger.
Well, of course they have to say that. But I don't know, man. So, okay, so let's just play this out. Let's say he does get convicted, quote, quote. And then they're going to start the appeals. And
Yeah, but-
I mean, but they can't keep him in jail.
I don't have confidence that he's going to be convicted. There's two. I mean, I just don't think there is. I mean, you're going to have one person in that jury that's going to say no. You got to.
They won't in D.C. for the federal stuff, but they don't care too much about the federal stuff, apparently. I don't know why. I need to read up on it. But, I mean, we're talking about the lawyers are chiming in on the charges and where it is and how it can be, what the appeal process is. I mean, they're like breaking this down, right? And they're saying the Georgia thing is his biggest risk because it's state. It's not federal.
Well, yeah, but they
That's
didn't
what
see the indictment, so they weren't quite sure. And I think it's come out. And one of the sticky points is, and we talked about this at the green room, is they actually released the indictment before it was even voted on by the grand jury.
Huge mistake.
Yeah.
That has to be a violation of due process. And that right there, in a normal scenario, the judge would throw out everything. They'd throw out everything.
Well, it
All
depends,
charges dropped.
depends what kind of judge this is.
That's right. I mean, that's what's shady about this whole thing. It's so politicized, and people are so like, this is our chance, right? This is our one chance to get Trump, right? Because they want to get him so bad.
Yep, they do.
I
you
don't
know
know.
what? And the thing is, I don't even understand why they hate him so much. You know, I don't get it. I mean, he's a jackass, but he
is
does
totally
a good job.
jackass.
You know, it's kind of like when he was under the interview with that kind of shitty person from CNN that Trump was interviewed by, and she just drilled him. You know, and he was talking about, she was like, well, who do you want to win, Russia or Ukraine? And he totally sidestepped the question. He was just like, I want people to stop dying.
Yeah, it was
You
good.
know?
It was a good answer.
And it's just like, and nobody will recognize that that's a good answer.
I know.
They won't give him the credit for it. He's just
Right.
like, it's not about winning or losing. It's about dying. People are dying.
Right.
And it's just like, how can you not respect that?
So here's
You know?
here's what I think. So he is a threat to the deep state, right? And
That's
the
all it is.
And the
It's a
deep
threat
state
to
is
the
both
deep
sides.
state.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Democrats and Republicans are deep
Correct.
state, and he
Correct.
doesn't play by their rules, and so he's a threat. And so because he's a threat, the deep state starts to latch on to the media, and they say, "Make America hate him. Just do whatever you need to do to make America hate him. Half of America at least." And because half of America can see through this bullshit,
Right.
And the
Right.
other half can't. So when you say, why do they hate him so much? Because the media fed them what they needed to have to hate him.
A false narrative.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wonder, you know, if they're going to be throwing stones at Trump, I mean, why aren't they throwing stones at Hillary Clinton when she
They're,
said
they're
it
on the
was
same
up there?
side.
You know,
And
I,
just like
I get
Hunter-
it, but
just like
I mean,
Hunter Biden
you have the
and
Stacey
Biden thing.
Abrams that said the same thing, and
Oh, yeah.
you have
She was. He's got charges that are having to do with contesting the election. She contested the shit out of the election in Georgia.
And she never conceded.
She
Ever.
never conceded. She said, I should be governor. She's still saying that.
Correct.
Is she in jail?
No.
No.
She's
The
not
last
at
I
all.
checked, she's
She's at
not
the
in jail.
buffet.
the buffet.
But one of the things that this Vivek Ramaswamy is really starting to impress me.
Me too.
And one of the things I'm going to read this post. It's not super long, but I want to read this. I think it's important. He said he posted this yesterday, I think. He said, "Here we go again. Another disastrous Trump indictment. It's downright pathetic that Fulton County publicly posted the indictment on its website, even before the grand jury had finished convening.
Wow.
Since the 4 prosecutions against Trump are using novel and untested legal theories, it's fair game for him to do the same in defense. Immediately file a motion to dismiss for a constitutional due process violation for publicly issuing an indictment before the grand jury had actually signed one.
Yep.
He should make a strong argument on these grounds, and it would send a powerful message to the ever-expansive prosecutorial police state. As someone who's running for president against Trump, I'd volunteer to write the amicus brief to the court myself. Prosecutors should not be deciding U.S. presidential elections, and if they're so overzealous that they commit unconstitutional violations, then the case should be thrown out and they should be held accountable."
I love it. I love just about everything he says. You know, one thing he did say today that I was like, I'm not sure how this is going to go. He wants to decriminalize all drug-related charges and eventually legalize.
All drugs?
I'm not against that. Fuck it. You know, just legalize it, because if you legalize it,
Then you take the sting out of it, right?
yeah. Well, plus there's the whole bad boy scene. You know, oh, I do drugs, I'm bad. Fuck it, man. There are some countries out there, they have legalized all of it. They just let it do it, and if you get addicted to it, they run you through a program and you become clean.
But it doesn't always go well, and they keep bringing up Portugal.
But
Portugal is apparently one of these countries that did it, and it's like a shit show, kind of like San Francisco.
Well, it's probably mismanaged, and I don't know that scenario, but the big game for this, legalizing the drugs, is that, like big pharma, they're going to be able to capitalize off of it. They're going to make a shitload of money off it.
Right.
You know.
Well, there's
Well, it becomes
I don't know if legally. I think it's a double-edged sword, because I've read some studies, some articles that the states that have legalized marijuana are seeing problems in the youth. and
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the drug use
So,
that
Let me
are
chime
being
in on
used
that
now.
because, and I agree that they probably are. But here's the difference with specifically marijuana. The marijuana that they're doing now is way different than the marijuana that they have. The marijuana they have now is designer marijuana. It's not even real. Like I'd say half of it is edibles.
Right.
Well, the THC that they get from those edibles aren't like pure THC, or maybe they're too pure. So it's not like a normal pot. It's just like it's concentrated. I believe some of it's synthetic.
Yeah, but marijuana is less than some of these other drugs. If we're talking about legalizing, like, would you legalize heroin, cocaine,
Fentanyl.
fentanyl? I mean, look out in San Francisco or Oakland, where they have Fentanyl Island.
And it's a shit
It's legal
show.
there.
Complete shit.
Yeah,
It's a complete
but
shit
here's
show.
what they're going to be able to do.
I don't
They're
like it.
going to have. They're going to be. People are going to have. God bless it. It's kind of like, well, you can only get so much. Hey, look, you're not going to be able to buy a pound of
Well,
fentanyl.
then there's still going to be an illegal. People are always going to want more. There's always going to be an illegal aspect to it. Then I want more.
I
Well,
just
that's
don't know.
Probably true too.
Given how San Francisco, how that looks, and Oakland, like you said, I don't see that going well.
Humans,
And like I said, I think Portugal is having major problems, and I even think Amsterdam, which is like the gold standard
Right,
of
right.
free everything, they're having problems.
right. And I think if you open it up and say, okay, heroin's free, not free, but legal now,
Legal.
you're going to have a lot more people try it.
Oh yeah,
Get
and get
addicted
hooked
to
on it.
Get hooked on it than you have today.
Right.
So I don't. I understand the argument for it because you kind of take some of the power away from cartels and stuff like that.
Yeah. You'll save a lot of lives because you're going to get rid of the underworld, organized crime crap.
But to be honest, I think the cartels are making more money on human trafficking than they are drugs now.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true, but damn, that's fucking crazy if that's for
Yeah,
real.
they would just shift to something else.
Oh yeah. Oh, they will.
They're like, I'm not taking a hit.
Well, that's why we need to. That's why we need to get control over some of these cartels. And I think something you mentioned in the green room earlier was it Biden that introduced doing some
No,
No, DeSantis.
DeSantis?
He
I
said-
think that's
He said, if I were
great.
president, I would do drone strikes on cartels
well,
and their leaders.
Trump has said the same thing.
So-
we should do military strikes.
So let's play that out. Let's imagine they literally start like nuking, not nuking, but doing drone strikes against. And where would it be? Would cartel leaders' homes? Where they kill their families and they kill,
the drug plants. I don't know if you do the families, but you take out these compounds.
right? Start blowing up the supply line. Start
Yeah.
blowing up the where they make the stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, they know where it is.
well, of course
They've got to know where it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and so how does that play out? Do the drug cartels strike back by sending armed people over the open border and start
Yes.
shooting up El Paso and start
Yes.
shooting up border towns?
Yes,
I think they do. I think they fight back.
of course they do because
I don't think they're going to fight back. I think that they'll fight back once, and I think that
And it's not going to go well for them.
It's
No,
not going to go
it
very
won't.
well at all. Just this past week they had a surge rush through the border. We're a bunch of pussies. We didn't do shit. We let them come through.
Of course we did.
Yep.
Hold on. What's your point? There was a surge and we didn't do anything. What did it have to do with the cartel guys?
Because they'll try once. They'll say,
Well-
"Hey, we need to take the fight back to them because they've got weapons. They've got a shit ton of money.
Oh yeah.
They're not trained as
They're
well.
in charge of Mexico, the cartels. I mean, just like in the this probably happens all the time, but I think I sent a text message about there was the Libya or whatever, some sort of someone got assassinated that was running for president.
Ecuador.
Of,
Oh,
it was Ecuador.
Ecuador, yeah.
But it's that it's the Mexican cabal. It's the cabal. I don't know if there's a global cabal or if it's just the Mexican cabal down there. But there are factions down there, and it's a group effort. So I think that bombing them and start deleting these factions is key. I think going down there and protecting these political people that are running for office down there to make things right is needed. I say we set up these drone strikes and start beating the shit out of people. We're not talking about. We could do it smart. We could do it like we took out the dude in Iraq, where we send this freaking little missile out there that sends a bunch of razors and.
But you have to
You know?
take out the whole.
and-
You have to
and-
take out the whole operation though, because you have someone just like over in the Middle East. Someone's ready to step up and into the new role.
Oh yeah, there's
So-
minor cartels
Yeah, it's
waiting
like
for that to
like
happen.
a Hydra. But my point is, you just you take out the operation, the
operations.
manufacturing points, but
Make
just
them
do
rebuild.
it.
Make them rebuild. Knock it out again. Make them rebuild. Knock it out again, and just keep hammering their ass until they're like,
All right, we're done.
So didn't that happen in Colombia? Didn't they have a major war on drugs in Colombia? And it was a
That's-
shit show for the whole country. And like it was like, running street battles and people dying and bombing.
and you may see that here. You may see that here.
yeah,
because
it
it's-
may
it's-
extend into the United States.
Yeah, you're right.
How did that I don't know the history. How did that end up? Did they I
That
don't
was
know.
Escobar, right?
Was that the height of that?
Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Escobar. Yeah, that was the whole Escobar.
I mean,
time.
you can argue things have quieted down as far as I know. I mean, well, maybe not. I mean, all the cocaine's still flowing like crazy from Colombia.
No.
Maybe they just backed off the war on drugs and they let them do their thing.
I think
I think that's what
I think
happened.
that's what happened.
And then the peace came back. No, there was peace from that point on, and no warring factions of
No,
of cocaine makers. That's why I'm asking. I'm not saying I'm not advocating for it or not advocating for it. I'm just trying to anticipate what would happen. That's all.
Well, did you see here this last week? There are Mexican cartel sicarios or special ops in Texas
Oh well, sure. I mean, think
caught
about it.
on camera carrying all of their
Oh,
military
across the
guns.
border.
They're across the border, and they're going through all the hedgerow. There's pictures of them out there because like game cameras
Oh my
caught
God!
them.
But yeah, but weren't they apprehended?
No, they never caught them.
Oh, that's scary.
So there's actual pictures of them out there, and you'll see like the one I saw. There were 3 pictures having big old. I don't know what kind of.
So
military gun was.
imagine they come across a border patrol and there's a gunfight. I mean, really? I mean, now they're 5, 6 border patrol agents get murdered. I mean, that's it. That would start drone strikes.
Yeah, those aren't any of the ones that I saw.
Oh, those are just creepy people being caught on game cameras.
And they all had. It was like military. They looked military. They had the body armor,
And
everything.
camo, and I mean, because they are well equipped, probably poorly trained, but well equipped.
Yeah, that's what I said. They're well equipped, but I don't think the training is going to be there.
No, I won't. Well,
That's why I think they really. I mean, I'd be able to solve this in a. I'm telling you, I would solve this in a day. I would solve this like Trump could solve Ukraine issues and Russia's
in
issues.
24 hours.
And
what-
seriously,
what would
here's
you
the
do?
thing, and this is going to suck.
President Sean, go.
You send some Black Hawk helicopters. Black Hawk, Paul. I saw your eyes light up.
You didn't
Send
see
a-
anything light up.
Send some helicopters. I tell you, light some asses up. Wait till they come. Wait when they come across the border. It just.
Okay, so you're
Carpet bomb
talking
the
about
shit out of
making a
those
military
motherfuckers.
strike on foreign soil. How does
Yep.
Mexico deal with that?
What are they going to do?
Oh, they're gonna throw a fit.
What are they going to do?
They're going to throw a fit, but what are they going to do?
What are they going to fucking do?
They may not send. They may have some of their beer up here.
You know what? Fuck them.
We have
What if they shut
Fuck
down?
those motherfuckers.
We have
Fuck them
Coors
all.
Light.
What if What if they stop sending Corona Light?
Well, look, I feel bad for those folks that are in dire need. So, before I really go on a rampage, and I wouldn't.
Well, no, you're not targeting the country.
Yeah.
You're targeting the cartels.
I'm just saying you're violating their sovereignty by sending military strikes on foreign
But
soil.
they're violating our sovereignty by infiltrating our country.
I don't disagree. And
So there's got to be repercussions.
doing nothing to stop it.
Control your border.
I mean, how about the Texas Governor Abbott puts that floating barrier in the middle, and the president of Mexico gets all fucking bent out of shape and says, "Okay, the people in Texas, rise up and vote him out." Like, what the fuck?
It's on our side of the river now.
I didn't understand that at all. Why would the president of Mexico
Because the cartel told him to say
Because
that.
he doesn't.
it makes you wonder.
Kind
he
of like the
doesn't want
cabal is telling Biden what to say.
and he doesn't want those people to stay in Mexico.
Oh, that's right. He wants them to go through.
He wants them to keep going.
Yeah, because they're not Mexicans, right? I mean, they're Guatemalans and Venezuelans and
Guatemalans.
I mean, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Because what was happening when Trump was in office is that these massive refugee camps were being formed on the Mexican side of the border,
Correct.
and he didn't like that.
waiting for Biden.
Yeah, they were waiting for Biden.
Now they're all here.
Yeah, they are.
All right, well, moving on here. So
Great,
we had Pee Wee Herman died.
He did. What did he die of?
Masturbation.
I don't think so.
It was cancer.
Yeah, he had a long fight with
He was hiding.
He over masturbated.
Yeah.
I'm sure that is a
He had a
condition.
Racha cock off.
I bet it is a condition. I bet there are people out there who just can't stop. Anyway, yeah. He died from cancer.
I don't think you can die from that.
Hey
guys, how you
you can get like a
to my wackatorium.
You can get like a rash or something, maybe.
Dehydration, I'm sure.
Yeah,
A
dehydration.
rash. I thought like
Yeah,
a rub
Pee-wee,
spot. You know?
Pee-wee, I was too old to get into Pee-wee's,
Sure, you were.
what was it called?
Funhouse.
Treehouse or Funhouse or whatever it was. Pee-wee's Funhouse?
Yeah, but you saw Pee Wee Herman's Great Adventures.
Correct. I did see the
Yeah,
movies.
we saw the movie.
We
All
saw
of
the
them.
movies, but I didn't watch the TV show.
Hold on. How many more? How many were there?
There are two.
I don't know.
I think there are two.
The first
Pee-wee's
one,
Big Adventure and
the
Pee-wee's
first one was
Big
funny. It was funny.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, that's when he's looking for his bicycle, right?
That's right. And there's that scene that I brought it up before. The scene where he's in the dark, like alone out in the wilderness, and he's like, you see his eyes looking around, and he's thinking he's safe, and they turn on the lights somehow. I don't know why. And then like 1,000 animals, 1,000 predator animals around him,
Right.
and he does his squeal, his scream.
Right. And he runs off.
Yeah. No. It just goes dark again, and then it's the next day.
So Paul Rubin,
Paul Rubens.
an American actor, comedian, widely known for creating, portraying character Pee Wee Herman. Rubens joined Los Angeles troupe The Groundings in the 70s. It started so they have a list of movies out here. Pee Wee Herman, Matilda. I don't remember him in Matilda. And I've seen Matilda.
Pee-wee's Big Holiday, 2016. I don't know that one at all.
Oh wow! So he was caught
Masturbating
rubbing
in a
one out
porn house.
in a porn theater,
Correct.
and that's
Isn't that what you're supposed to do in a porn theater?
Yes.
Well, I don't know, Sean. You tell us.
Well, I mean, just think about it. Why are you watching porn? What is the
Well,
objective
I
to
get
watching?
it.
It's not
But
like a
you
novel.
You can't do it in a
Oh
public place.
God! Look at they love each other. It's did you hear the love story? Look! Oh my gosh, he's about to come. Oh, I'm so weepy.
Oh,
no, come on,
Gross.
No, dude, seriously.
Okay,
they're,
Okay, I get it, but you're not supposed to do it in a public place. I mean, you could do it on
oh,
airplanes.
what the hell?
You can do it on airplanes, but you can't do it in a public
It
place.
is the. Are you kidding me?
Have you heard all these stories?
Yeah. Well, on the airplane,
Yes.
when they make a little tent and create a little micro wackatorium.
It's unbelievable.
Well, there was a doctor
It's unbelievable.
who just got caught. He was flying, I don't know where the hell he was flying, but there was a 14-year-old girl sitting right next to him.
Oh.
And he created the tent, right?
The
He covered
tent.
up with the blanket.
And then eventually removed the tent.
The blanket came down, and
His junk was
his
out.
junk was out, and he was
Wow.
going to town, apparently.
Unbelievable.
Next to this
But
14-year-old.
but not only masturbation, but molestation. You have stories of people like groping the people next to them on an airplane. How drunk or high do you have to be
I don't know.
to think that you're not going to get caught? And then every time, what happens? The plane lands, they get off, they're met by FBI agents or local law enforcement. I mean, I just don't understand it. A Boston doctor has been arrested and charged with allegedly masturbating and exposing himself while sitting next to 14-year-old teenage girl while flying. It's just... All right, let's see. 1 count of lewd, indecent, and obscene acts while on a special aircraft jurisdiction of the United States.
Sudipta Mohatni.
It's a punishment of 90 days in jail,
He's 33 years old.
up to 1 year of supervised release, and a fine of up to $5,000.
He'll probably lose his
So they already
medical
know.
license, too.
So they asked the hospital for comment, and they said they are aware of it, and they're waiting for kind of what the details are. What the hell?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's happening over and over again. What's going on? We have a country that's gone crazy.
They don't know how to behave in public.
All right, well, that's a fast podcast.
Yeah, it was.
I'll tell you what, April, fucking August 15th. We've got the second half popping up here. Paul brought a bag of popcorn we're going to enjoy. We're going to break out the 1845 bourbon, the 4 grain.
The 4 grain.
We
so
are-
looking forward to that.
We are super excited for
Yeah.
this second half podcast.
Yeah, we
Sean's
have.
boner in it.
Oh, dude, I'm pitching a tent. I might as well. If I were a
What?
doctor, I'd whack it right now. If I were in a plane, I'd make my tent
What?
I don't need a 14-year-old next to me. That'd be creepy.
That is
Yes.
creepy.
Dudes like us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.